Alright guys, today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Casio A158W watch. I hope it's going to be a good video, so I'm excited to talk to you guys about my Casio obsession. Alright, so let's quickly talk about what is Casio. Yes, I know it's a little dark. I'm filming this a little late, please forgive me. Anyways, what is Casio? Casio as a brand is a Japanese brand, if I'm not mistaken, that makes pianos, watches, and a bunch of other technology, calculators, stuff like that. Just a little electronics company, basically, right? And they're known for being cheap, being great quality, and lasting you a lifetime. Those are the three things that they're known for. Their watches first came out in like the 1970s. Their digital watches first started coming out in like the 1970s. I wanted to pick up a replica of it, and they did release a replica of the original one from like 1972, but it was like $500, so couldn't get that. So instead I got a different watch that kind of looks like it, but I am in love with these Casio digital watches. Now, why would someone buy a digital watch in the first place? It's because we're lazy and we don't want to read analog, and also this has some class to it. This has a very retro 80s vibe to it that I just really appreciate, and it just looks really nice in my opinion. So let's quickly talk about what's great about this watch, what isn't great about this watch, and any issues I have with it, and anything that I adore about it. So first of all, it's like $25, or I think it's less than that, honestly. I think it's around the $25 mark, which is a great price for a watch like this. I bet you could find it for cheaper. The quality of it, you know, it's stainless steel. It looks nice. It's got a nice frame. The way that Casio does a lot of their silver watches with these kinds of chain ones, instead of having to take the links out, there's this piece right here, and it slides up and down this thing just by bending it off with a knife, and that is super awesome. But for this specific type, there's other ones like the more slim version of this, which has like a plated design instead of like a chain plate like this. This is very rigid. You know, it's very, the size differences are way too large to where, for me and my wrist size, it's either too tight or it's too loose. And I often just go too tight because I'm just like, I don't want it to be too loose, which is really annoying and kind of makes this hard to daily. But I have a rotation of like 6 different watches that I go through, which will be getting reviews later on. But it's annoying, and it really does make me kind of not like this watch. But the look of it itself kind of brings it back, in my opinion. The thing about this watch is it is a classic Casio look right here. It's got a terrible backlight that's just awful, but it's so charming in a way, which for a watch enjoyer, you would be like, oh man, this kind of sucks. Why is it so terrible? No, in my opinion, I am a huge fan of this crappy light right here. It tells the time, minute, and second. It's also got 24-hour and normal AM PM time. If we go over, it has a alarm that you can set. I never really use these alarms. It has a stopwatch. I use this a lot. And then you can also edit the time. Super awesome, super useful, super intuitive, and super easy to use. Especially when you're trying to set up your time, it can be exact. It'll go out of sync sometimes, but it's not that bad. It also says the day of the week, the month of the day of the month, what month you're in. This is really a beautiful piece of technology right here, and it is very cheap. It's also water resistant. I don't know how water resistant it is. I think it's like splash proof. I wouldn't swim with this on probably, but I know that Casio does have some of them that are like waterproof. So yes, this is, I would say it's more splash proof. Anything else that I really need to talk about on here? There's a light mode. It's a, I don't know. It's just a great watch. I'm just a huge fan of it. You know, it's got that nice stylized look, and I'm just a big fan of it, you know. But the one drawback of this watch, I have to say, is really just this chain right here. When I put it on like this, clasp it around the back like that, pops around, and boom, too tight, way too tight, and then it clamps on here, and man, it's just too tight. And then if I try to make it looser, it's too loose, and it's just because for this specific type of chain here for adjusting it, it's too all or nothing. You know, it's too big of adjustments. It's not micro adjusting, it's big adjustments, which just doesn't work for this kind of watch. So I have to say, I'm a big fan of the Casio, let me read this off, A158W. I remembered it at the beginning of the video, but I forgot it. I'm a big fan of the Casio A158W, but this alone kind of ruins it. But what's great about Casio is that these are super customizable. So technically, I could get a different chain, take this off, and replace it. So the watch itself is fantastic. I think it's not too thick for the arm. I was kind of worried when I bought it that it might come off my arm too fat, which I don't like. I like a slimmer look. That's why the first Casio I got was the slim version of this, which I can show a picture right now. Yeah, that one's the first one I got, and I do appreciate that one. That one is honestly my favorite. I'm gonna do a review of it later, but I was a little worried this would be too thick, but honestly, it's got a pretty slim profile, and I appreciate that. You know, I really do appreciate that. And it pops out just enough to really give me a little bit more character. If I'm wearing like a ring or something, it kind of matches. It just works out very well, and I very much so appreciate it. And it is a wonderful watch. So if you have a more average wrist size, this might be perfect for you, because then the sizing issue won't matter. And I think, honestly, I do like the look of this one a little bit more than the slim one that just has the rectangles going across the whole thing. That looks slimmer and nicer, but I think this has a bit more of like a standard look to it. This feels like it can be worn casually and formally, while the slim one, I wear it casually, but it just feels like it's a bit more formal. This is a super casual look that can go with any fit. I'm wearing cargo and a t-shirt right now, but technically if I wanted to, I could also wear it with something fancier because it's a silver watch, you know? So I gotta say, the Casio A158W, great watch. The wrist thing's a little bit poopy, but other than that, I'd say it's a great buy, and I would recommend picking it up for yourself. So I know it's getting really dark outside, guys, and I know I haven't uploaded in a while. I went on vacation, a lot of stuff had been happening, so I didn't really have time to make an upload, and today's my birthday too, so I wasn't thinking I was gonna make a video, but I decided let's make a short little video to say hi and get back to some daily uploads, just because honestly it's just getting kind of tiring to do the same type of drink videos, so I wanted to mix it up, and I was like, I love Casio watches, and I have way too many Casio watches. I also want to do a review of the case that I got for my Casio watch, which I think is pretty cool. So I hope you guys have a good one, all right? You guys take care. Please subscribe for more content. We're going to be doing reviews on watches, beverages, non-alcoholic beers, caffeinated drinks, snacks, different restaurants, stuff like that. We're going to do reviews on all of that. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you want more vlog content, stories time stuff, just like that, just let me know down in the comments, and I'd really appreciate that. So yeah. I recommend the Casio A158W or W158A or whatever it's called. I recommend it. The wrist thing's just a bit of a mess, and it has a classic, nice 80s look, and I really appreciate it. So you guys have a good one, all right? Peace.